Hi, welcome. I'm going to share my screen. Hi there. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited that you're here today. And wherever you are, go ahead and pop a message down below and let me know where you're joining me from. I am Sasha Reinke, your mindset coach and master healer. And today we're going to be talking about smoothie basics. So, I am a smoothie lover. If you signed up for this, you probably are also a smoothie lover. So whether you do it in a professional capacity or just an enthusiast capacity, smoothies are an incredible way to receive a loaded amount of nutrients in a single serving. And so we're going to talk about how to make these work for you today. So again, welcome. I'm Sasha, and I am the proud owner of the Happy Mindset Academy, and I'm a board certified CPT and NLP coach and mindset practitioner. So I help you basically detoxify your body, learn how to eat healthy foods, and improve your digestive function while working with your mindset. Because if your mind isn't in it, then no matter what you do or what kind of habit you try to create or what kind of food you buy at the grocery store, your mindset will derail your efforts. So it's a holistic approach, and we wrap it all together. And I truly believe that you are your mind, body, spirit. And, when your mindset is right and you're putting in the effort to actually make the habits and do the right kind of eating and make sure you're getting the right kind of nutrition, then all of a sudden everything falls into place. So I teach and coach mindset and holistic health solutions so that you can feel good, you can think well, and have the energy to build the lifestyle that you ultimately want, that's abundant in all areas of your life. So if you haven't already done so, I'm going to encourage you to pop onto my website, which is www.sashareinke.com, and grab my subscriber offer bundle. This is what you get. So I put this in here just because it makes sense, because we're talking about smoothies today. So there are actually my 15 favorite smoothie recipes. You've got super waters and infused recipes. You have simple nice cream recipes. You have 8 of the best, in my opinion, chia seed boosting, energy boosting pudding recipes. And then of course, 11 fast and easy energy, no bake protein ball recipes. So definitely go ahead and grab this, get this. Again, the offer is available on my website. For now, stick with me and we're going to talk about smoothies. Okay, so when our body does not have the important nutrients that it actually needs, then it just can't metabolize the food properly. Your digestive system is designed to function for you, but if it's lacking in the proper nutrient environment, that means that it doesn't matter even if you take probiotics or prebiotics, your biome or your body's naturally occurring structure, okay, is not going to break down what you're actually putting in it. So we need to do a couple things here. We need to make sure that you're putting in quality resources that are chemical free, that will basically create the environment for your natural occurring physical space, to make sure that your existing flora is fed properly, but that it's thriving. So when the nutrients come in, it can break them down quickly, easily, and literally give you the nutrients back into your body. So sort of a cohabitation relationship. The flora that already exists in your digestive tract has to be nutrient fed, but you also need to make sure that it's healthy for the nutrients to go ahead and feed them. So when you get this right, you'll see, when you get this poorly done, you'll see weight gain, you'll see food allergies, you'll see anxiety, depression, and mood changes, because your digestive system is sending signals to the brain, and this brain is receiving those signals and creating hormones and chemicals that are going to affect how you can digest your food. So if your digestive system is sending the wrong messages to your brain, then it can cause confusion, basically a traffic jam in your body. And that's where you can get anxious, you can feel depressed, you get these mood shifts and these mood changes that don't really make logical sense. You get a lot of belly bloat, IBS, constipation. It lowers your energy level and it lowers your stamina or your mental capacity. So you can also get fatigue, mental fatigue. It also lowers your sex drive. So this is all interrelated. This is what happens when you don't get the system right. So Smoothie 101, basically what we're going to do with the smoothies, we're going to pack them with a bunch of the nutrients to make sure that the biome, the actual system, your flora that lives within your actual digestive system, is being fed the proper amount. So what happens is the big argument is, of course, like, do you take probiotics or prebiotics? And the answer is, in my opinion, you can, yes, but there's always a cost. So if you're going to introduce probiotics into the body, those probiotics, most of them don't stay in the body. They're being flushed through. So they're going to consume the food that you're putting in that's for the existing flora that already lives in there. So when you are trying to give them prebiotics are great because the prebiotics are trying to feed and create a really rich environment for the flora that already lives there. So that's wonderful. So if you're going to do it, just make sure you're going to do prebiotics first. That's your foundation. Eating really, really well and getting the nutrients in there first, because that makes sure the flora that lives in your digestive tract is happy and healthy. So if you do end up taking a probiotic later on, you're not going to be starving essentially the flora that lives in there. Now, by default, some of the probiotics will, take root in your system, if you want to use that kind of terminology. But for the most part, a lot of them just get flushed out, and so you're basically feeding flora that's not sticking around. So I always advise people to take your prebiotic if you're going to go that route, but also make sure you're getting the proper nutrient-rich value in whatever you're consuming. And that's what I love about smoothies, that you can pack them with a bunch of nutrients. They're simple, they're easy, they're fast, they're fun, and you can make a smoothie in about 60 seconds. And then you can enjoy it. And if you want to, you can make multiples. They're not hard, and they're super delicious. So, and they're easy to travel. You can travel with them. So you can bring them on the go if you need to. You can bring them in a carpool situation. You can have them in the car if you're driving. So super great for kids also. They love them. And then anything that you turn into a smoothie, you can also freeze into a popsicle. So always keep that in mind. So we're going to pack a lot of nutrients all at once into your smoothies. It's going to be easy to digest. You're going to give your digestion a break, because when you blend it, it actually makes it easier for your body to break it down even more and faster. It's going to, by default, increase your energy and kickstart any kind of energy levels that you're lacking. It's going to kind of give you that stamina back. And then, of course, try to kick your sugar cravings. So sugar cravings, which we all have, we've all been trained to digest sugar, which is a faster fuel than fat to burn. And so by default, when you're drinking your smoothie, you kind of get that quick, sugar fix, because you are consuming fruits typically. So you're getting the natural glucose. So you're less likely to start craving candy bars. And then when you add the protein in there, whatever kind of protein, whether it's plant-based protein or animal protein, you're getting that additional energy source. So when the sugar gets burned, the glucose naturally gets burned quickly, then your body still has a protein source to start burning. So it should also hedge off any kind of additional food or sugar cravings. So importance of smoothies. So smoothies are chock full of vitamins, enzymes, and minerals. They're easy to digest, which means basically that your body can assimilate the nutrients much faster, much easier, which also takes less energy. So you're not wasting energy on digestion. You can use it in your brain. Also, they're great for stabilizing blood sugar. And when you see each smoothie, you'll see in my packet, and you'll see on the freebie, all of the smoothies basically are designed to really make sure that there's no added sugar, or if there is, it's a natural form like honey. So just keep that in mind. And they're a fabulous way to consume a variety of different fruits. It's, I love fruit bowls and I love fruit, but it does take time. And fruit for me is one of those things where I sit down and just relax and enjoy it. But when I'm trying to get my fruit intake for the day or per meal, I much prefer tossing a bunch of bananas and mangoes and blueberries into the same thing, opposed to trying to dice them up. That just takes more time, you know. And of course, do you have time to actually spare doing that? If you do, by all means, that's amazing. But if you don't, this is a great alternative. And they're amazing at cleansing the body. And I'll just add here, they hide the flavor of some of the things you may not want to eat by themselves. So like bok choy or celery or kale or spinach, you know, not a lot of us want to just grab a spoonful of kale and just start munching on it, or eat, you know, a tons and tons of celery. I happen to really love celery, but not everybody does. So if you're not consuming those things because they don't really taste that great by themselves to you, smoothies are a great way to pack them in there and basically mask the flavor with the fruits and whatnot. And of course, just a super easy way to add more fiber to your diet, and to basically have optimal bowel function, optimal digestion. So the skinny on smoothies. Smoothies give you energy. They can actually help you sleep better. And what's amazing is they can help you lose weight, which is fantastic. So it's sort of like the trifecta of awesome there. So why blend your smoothies? The health of your body depends on your digestion, which I think we can all kind of agree makes logical sense, because if you're not digesting your food and it's going out too quickly, then you're losing, number one, all of those amazing resources. And number two, you're not gaining the benefits of the energy. And then, of course, if it's going through too slowly, it starts to kind of basically go septic in your system, and it's breaking down, and then you start to feel ill and get toxicity levels in there. So when you blend your foods, you're supporting your digestion. So your body does not have to work as hard to break down these nutrients. And then they're basically in a pre-digestible state, which means they're all in that liquidy state that your body wants to enjoy anyway. And did you know that 80% of your energy is spent digesting? That's a ton of energy wasted on just digesting and assimilating your foods. So by assisting your body and helping yourself out, you can kind of cut that energy load down and allow it to go into other areas of your body, like your brain. So you think better. And then instead of having to prepare and eat cup after cup of healthy greens, like I was mentioning earlier, or fruit bowls, basically you get all of it dumped into one amazing, delicious bundle. So one of the questions that I have been asked is, what kind of blender do I use? And so I put a couple different options here. I personally use a Ninja, and I gave the brand here. I bought mine on Amazon, and I've seen it between $70 to $100. So usually I've seen it between about 79 to about like 80 bucks. But it works great. I love my Ninja. There are some other options here. You can definitely, the more you spend, the fancier the tools are. But my Ninja by far has been absolutely amazing, and it's the lowest one on here. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money on a blender, or if you've bought blenders in the past and they have not blended and they broke, or they just didn't, like you had all these chunks, it just didn't work out, the Ninja is my go-to resource. So it always chops beautifully and makes everything beautifully pureed. It's the one I take pictures of on my Instagram. So if you want to, you can always check that out there. But literally, that's my go-to resource. So 5 smoothie steps. Very, very first, choose your liquid. So water by default. One of my favorite recipes that I do in the morning for my kids is literally just, it's about 4 cups of water, just purified water from tap water. Now we do have a 6-step osmosis system through our water. So it gets purified. So it's attached to our water tap, and it comes out of our tap water, but it's through a different system. So I always say, start with clean water. The better water you use, the better your body will be. And of course, the actual end result will just be better for you. But in the morning, I just use about 3 to 5 cups of water, depending upon who I'm making it for. And 1 heaping scoop of Vega 1 powder, and then, which is a protein, plant-based protein powder. And then, no joke, that's it. That's what I do. I put in a banana, and then we're done. And it's amazing. It's delicious. My kids absolutely go nuts for it. So you don't have to buy super crazy fancy things. It can just be super simple. So water, coconut water, or any kind of dairy-free milk, like an oat milk or hemp milk. You can get hazelnut milk. You can get almond milk. Literally, there are so many alternate milk substitute now that you can just kind of, have super fun doing stuff with. They come in chocolate versions, so you can do a chocolate if you want. But yeah, check that out. Of course, your greens, so your kale, your spinach, your parsley, your Swiss chard, your collards, your lettuce, broccoli also. Choose your fruit. Banana is my default, honestly, because it masks the flavor of nearly everything. Unless you overdo what you're putting in and you put very little banana in, it's going to pretty much mask anything. If you cannot stand the flavor of banana, use coconut meat. Okay, coconut meat is basically the white portion. When you open a coconut, there's a liquid, and then there's the heavy duty, thick sort of fruit in there. Go ahead and use that. That will also mask most flavors. And then apples, berries, mangoes. And then if you want to leave out fruit, you can. You can also just use a powder substitute that has it all broken down for you. The one I usually use is called Vega 1. That's my favorite. And then choose your fat and protein. So you can use hemp seeds, hemp protein, nut butters, avocado is always amazing, coconut oil, flax, chia seeds, sunflower oil, all those can just put them right on in there. And then I always say start with less. Less is more. So especially if you're using a new recipe or you're just trying to dabble, start with a little bit of hemp seed, and you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So, so start with less, and then add a superfood. So you could use maca root powder, raw cocoa, bee pollen, shredded coconut, goji berry, camu camu. In my subscriber also, I have a huge list of ones that I do personally. And it also, if you are a fan of looking at the fun smoothie bowls, they can change the color. So if you're looking at some of those, you can use spirulina, which will make a kind of a beautiful green color. There's also a blue, basically it's called butterfly pea flower, and that is a blue. It'll turn your smoothies blue. And then of course you can use any kind of any kind of raw cocoa will basically turn it like a chocolatey color, or you can use one of my favorites. Let's see, I'm drawing a blank here. I have my acai berry powder. It makes it a beautiful raspberry kind of red color. So you can have a lot of fun with your smoothies. So smoothies and immunity. When our bodies have the proper nutritional foundation, this is basically just a beautiful garden for your body and your immune system. So you actually can't boost your immune system. If you're boosting your immune system, that means that you are actually creating more white blood cells, and that means that you've been exposed to something that is now creating antibodies. So as a result, there's really no such thing as boosting your immune system, but you can support your immune system so it's an optimal, healthy, sort of strong condition. So what you want to do is basically give it lots of nutrients so you have a very strong, healthy immune system. So if it does, I have something in my eye here. So if it does need to be boosted, i.e. you get exposed to something that creates white blood cells and you're creating antibodies, that it's in full capacity, in full strength to create those rapidly, and then basically to fight off whatever you're exposed to quickly. So that's how you would basically help and keep your immune system healthy. So smoothies are an excellent source of basically your multivitamins, your leafy greens, your natural fruits, hydration, all of this packed into one, your protein, like literally everything. So you basically are kind of getting this nice, you basically health boost every time you have a smoothie. And then of course, if you're feeling kind of low, I always tell people dabble with it, because you may find, for instance, I make a protein shake every single morning, pretty much in the summer. So like I do it seasonally. So when it starts to get warm, out comes a blender for the smoothies. In the fall and the winter, I usually switch into something warm. So I'm making hot apple cider, or I'm making tinctures, or I'm making teas. But in basically all the rest of the year, I am making smoothies. Now, what does this mean for my immunity? It means that I'm getting seasonal assistance to keep my body healthy. Now, I also would highly suggest that you really dabble with it, because your body, just like anything, can kind of get sick of something. So you don't need as much greens, let's say. So you might be making a smoothie every single day that has tons and tons of micronutrients. And all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I just feel a little sluggish still. You feel like it's not working. It's because your body's getting a lot of those micronutrients, and it might be a capacity. So it's just flushing the rest of them out. So you're not really absorbing them anymore. You're just kind of wasting them, but you may actually need more, let's say, hydration, or you might need more of vitamin D, something like that. So you want to kind of dabble with it, really listen to your body, because your smoothies should not be totally identical every single day. They should be a little bit of a variety, sort of like living off the land concept. You want to make sure that you're putting in seasonal fruits, seasonal vegetables, so you're getting all of the benefits of what's happening in your environment, what you have access to, and then add the powders as an extra. Okay, so there's usually kind of a base that you do with a smoothie, and you've got your banana, you've got your liquid, and then you've got some kind of powder. But make sure you're switching up those powders. So your body may really need those micronutrients, but it may only need them every 3 days or so. So it really depends on the person. Everybody is different. So just listen to your body. And if you start to like, wow, I just really want celery, right? Toss some celery in there, right? If you're just like, gosh, I just am so sick of kale, listen to your body. You probably don't need any more of it, right? So mix in something else. Maybe you need some more blueberries. Maybe you need something like a pea protein, but really listen to your body and see what you feel like consuming, because your body is sending those messages. Again, your digestive system is sending information to your brain, and your brain is then basically receiving that information and trying to turn it into thought. And so sometimes we don't get, the wires get crossed, so we don't get the right message. So really try to pay attention and see, like, how do I feel about this? Does it taste as good as it usually does? Because your flavors, right? So when you're drinking something, if it doesn't taste as amazing or stellar as it usually does, it's probably because your body's like, we've had enough of that. Let's switch it up. So really pay attention to that. And so smoothie benefits. I think we've pretty much touched on this by this point, but just want to hone this in. Nutrient absorption, decreased food allergies, good digestion, really good, smooth digestion. You really never need to feel what's going on in your lower extremities in any increased degree. So your digestion should be a well-oiled machine. And so if you're feeling a lot of digestion happening, a lot of tension and movement and discomfort or bloating, that means that the system's not working optimally. And that's where you need to switch up what you're doing to make sure it's working like a well-oiled machine. So it basically, you mentally can ignore it. Okay, so good digestion is a benefit of smoothies. Regulated body weight. And reduce inflammation. So inflammation has kind of a double-edged sword here, because when you have good digestion, you by default have usually good and reduced inflammation. If you have bad digestion, by default, you usually have poor circulation, and as a result, you're gaining inflammation. And so it's one of those things where you really want to make sure that, again, it's a well-oiled machine that's working properly. So use smoothies to test this system. Plus, because they are liquid and your body is spending less energy digesting, you'll be able to tell quickly, is this settling well? What's going on? Is this helping me, or do I need to add or subtract something? Okay. And then these are just some of the add-ons. Again, in the bundles, you'll see a ton more things that you can actually add on, but hemp protein, pea protein, sun warrior protein, maca, racacoa, spirulina, wheatgrass, hemp seeds. I love adding those. Camu camu, shredded coconut or coconut oil. Also, I'll mention sunflower oil. And you can even add olive oil or any of the other kind of cooking oils. You can add those, especially if you're feeling anything like things are backed up. Go ahead and add those oils. Those are really great for your digestion. And then bio-individuality. So bio-individuality is basically the idea or the concept that each of us is totally different, makes sense, and that no two bodies are exactly alike. And because of this, some people thrive with one type of system where another person really, it doesn't work for them. So for example, some people thrive on a vegetarian diet while other people need a higher protein or a meat-based diet. Or some people can do 100% raw while other people, it makes them feel sick or gross and they really need something else. So if you follow any kind of the Eastern Indian kind of medicines and you believe in the construct of the doshas, basically, if you are a cool-bodied person by nature, you can add warming spices to your smoothies to improve digestion and nutrient assimilation. So don't forget your spices. Just like I mentioned a moment ago, you can add oils. Don't forget your spices in your smoothies. So a lot of people tend to think, oh, a smoothie is like a banana and water and coconut milk, and maybe I'll add some broccoli or kale in there. No, that's boring, right? So you want to go ahead and add things like cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, turmeric, cayenne, like just standard pepper. You can add salt, like literally make it this amazing blend of flavors. And those, a lot of the flavors of the warming spices won't necessarily be tasted specifically, but you're getting those nutrients still into your body. So you're still consuming them in a way that's healthy and cathartic and healing. Conversely, if you're a warm-bodied person by nature, then you can add cooling spices such as mint or cilantro or cardamom. So really just kind of think about how your body functions naturally if you're warm all the time or if you're cold all the time, and then start to kind of apply those concepts into what you're putting into your smoothies. So smoothies can help with the following: fatigue, food allergies, common colds, low immunity or a poor immune response system, anxiety, adrenal fatigue. This is big. This is really, really big. Inability to lose weight or skin problems. I just want to touch on adrenal fatigue because adrenal fatigue, your adrenal glands do not detox themselves in the same way as other organs do. And so your adrenals need and require movement in order to detox. So think of it as like if you were to hold a ball in your hand, your adrenal glands are basically that ball. So by themselves, the ball does nothing. But if you were to bounce the ball, now the ball is in motion, it's movement. That movement is creating friction and action for the ball. If you're to squeeze the ball and just squeeze it in your hand, the squeezing is causing movement and friction and action for the ball. But the ball by itself doesn't do anything. Your adrenal glands this is kind of the best example I can give you. So your adrenal glands are basically doing the same thing. So unless you're doing a lot of jumping, a lot of running, a lot of movement in general, your adrenal glands are not getting the proper detoxing structure that they require in order to clean themselves out. So what you can do is basically just add movement to your day. And I always say movement. I don't say exercise, because exercise is very specific for every single person, and it's going to be based on your ability, your age, your health conditions, everything. But if you tell people movement, so I tell people movement, add movement to your day. Movement can be walking, it can be jogging, it can be an elliptical, it can be a stair stepper, it can be kickboxing, it can be rock climbing, it can be hiking, it can be so many things, right? You can jump on a trampoline, you can do jump rope, you can literally do so many things. So I just tell people, add movement to your day, and then that way your adrenal glands are getting cleaned out every single day. Okay, just a little bit of movement every single day. I'll stop harping on that. Okay, so taste test recipe. So here's an energy boosting smoothie. So it's 1 cup of dairy-free milk. My go-to milk is usually oat milk, personally. 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds or hemp hearts. Half a banana or avocado. That's going to give it that sort of creamy texture. 1 cup of spinach. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I just want to mention cinnamon. You want to use Ceylon cinnamon. That's the actual authentic cinnamon. You want to make sure that you're not using a cinnamon substitute, which a lot of stores will sell and just call cinnamon. You want Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon with a C. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed meal or chia seeds, and then stevia to taste if you really need that sweetener. Personally, if you can leave it out, I think that's better for you. And then ice is also optional. If you want it to have kind of that crunch or that coldness, add ice. If you want it to be a little bit warmer and smoother, then leave the ice out. And then blend and enjoy. Okay, so we're wrapping up here at the end here. And I hope that I've really honed in how easy it is to get those nutrients into your body using something as simple as a smoothie. So your challenge starting today, depending upon when you see this, go and make yourself a smoothie. You probably have at least half the ingredients you would use already, which would be a banana and either water or some kind of alternate milk in your refrigerator. So just use those, put them together, and just get it started. You'll see how easy it is to do this. And then start researching and dabbling in all the kind of neat, fun things that you can add to your smoothie. If you are looking for sweeteners, I recommend your local honey distributors. For the most part, you should have some kind of local, there's pretty much, they're all over the place, but look for local honey because it'll also help you have that immunity for the geographical location that you're in. And then I would hedge away from the big brand honeys, really focus on a local quality honey distributor and bee sort of hive company. And then that way you'll get really quality tasting honey. I just want to point out today that if you haven't already seen on my website, my programs, we have a 21-day reboot. It's only $27. It's literally, it is a life-changing system. So if you've already done it, oh my gosh, comment down below and let me know. But if you haven't, then check that out. There'll be a link in here for you to check that out. And then also, if you're looking for more and you're looking for a support system to keep you going, check out my monthly membership of $57. I do literally, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it's literally, it's amazing. I do 2 presentations a month. You get lots of bundles, and it's a very great support group. So literally, it's been proven that simple whole foods can elimination. So if you eliminate whole foods, so you start to really kind of get rid of the concept of I have to sit down and have this big meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner concept, then it literally can reduce belly bloat, reduce allergies, or take allergies away entirely, improve your sleep, which is something we all desperately need, right? And establish better mindset habits. This is literally, it's that whole mind-body connection, because when your body is taking up all of your energy, it's hard to think clearly. When you are getting rid of some of that unnecessary digestion and literally making the system run like a well-oiled machine, all of a sudden that energy gets to go to your brain. And by default, your mindset gets better. You have more transformational shifts. You have habits that you start to want to do for a better lifestyle. So it's all interrelated. And then, so if you are interested in working with me or finding out more, definitely DM me. You can go to my website and there is a form there that you can fill out to contact me. You can head over to Instagram. I'm on Instagram most often. That's my place of hangout. And so I'm at Sasha Reinke, just at Sasha Reinke, and you can DM me there and we can chat. But otherwise, definitely stay in touch and check out my monthly membership. This is, again, $57. I do 2 presentations every single month. There's typically one that is for the more mature adult lifestyle, and then there's usually one that is geared towards family and children. And then we get workbooks, recipes, meal plans or shopping lists, depending upon the month and what the topic is. There's a community and community support, and then a live Q&A every single week. And then of course, weekly office hours. So check that out. If you have questions, DM me at Sasha Reinke over on Instagram. And I thank you so much for joining me today. This is amazing. And I know that you are going to start making smoothies just like that and enjoying them. And if you haven't already done so, I'm going to remind you to come over and to my website and grab my subscriber offer, because it is chock full with a bunch of these recipe books that I put together. I love these. These are delicious. I'm proud of these. I do these, and you won't regret it. So it'll be absolutely amazing, and you'll see just how easy this really can be for you. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you hopefully over on Instagram. Thanks.